Good morning everybody, and I just wanted to say hi. And basically this week the students at school, the students that are in at school, have been making cakes. So we did a session the other day, so I'm just going to talk you through how to make a basic sponge recipe, and then what we're going to do at the end is I've talked to my daughter this morning. She wants to add a couple of extra ingredients in, so I'm going to show you how to do that and execute that. So basically the first thing you need to do is obviously wash your hands, and if you've got an apron, pop an apron on, and then you need to get all your equipment out. So today we're going to need a mixing bowl and a wooden spoon, a spatula if you've got one. If you haven't, don't worry about it, a sieve, your weighing scales, and then you're going to need all your ingredients. So today we're going to need some caster sugar, some eggs, some block marge. Now block marge comes in like this, so that's all I could get from the supermarket. So block marge just comes in a little packet, whereas before when we made scones I used bacon marge and butter, so just depending what you've got. And then we need some eggs as well, which I'm just going to go and grab, which I've forgotten to get. I've got my eggs now as well. Okay, so now you're going to need about 6 ounces of each ingredients in here. So 6 ounces of caster, 6 ounces of block marge, 6 ounces of flour, self-raising flour, and then 3 eggs. So whatever size mixture you do, if you do a 4 ounce mix, then you need 2 eggs. So you just half the number that you've weighed out for your eggs, or if it's a 6 ounce mix, we're going to need 3 today. So what I've done here is I've already prepped my marge and my sugar. So I've weighed that out and I've put in here some vanilla. So today I'm going to make, you can either do a bun tin or you can do a sponge. So with today, my daughter, we made cupcakes the other day with the students at school. So today I'm going to make this, and I'll show you the reason why in a moment. So I've just greased this tin and then put some grease-proof paper in, okay? And all I've done is I've done a square, and then I've just literally cut the corners in like this, and then it fits in nicely into my tin like so. Okay, this is really good grease-proof paper, so I don't actually need to grease it, but if you've got white greaseproof paper, you need to grease it with some vegetable oil if you can. Okay, so what I've done is I've weighed out my caster sugar and my marge, and then I've just added in here some vanilla essence because I'm going to make chocolate and banana sponge today for us at home. So as you can see, the reason I've started this is because what I wanted to do was to show you the difference in the colours. So when your marge comes out, it looks like this. It's quite a darker colour, and then when you mix these together, you're going to try and whip in as much air as possible. So there you go. So it's sort of started to change colour. Make sure you get all the bits in from the outside of the bowl, and then we're going to whip it as hard as possible. So you want to get as much air in here as possible at this point, because it will make your sponge rise, okay? And as well, I'm going to add some heavy ingredients, so I really want to get as much air in there as possible. So I've been beating that probably for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the consistency of your marge. If you find that your marge is a little bit hard, try and get it out of the fridge before you start. And then if you're really struggling, then you can just whack it in the microwave. Block marge takes a little bit longer to melt than normal stalk marge. Stalk marge is good as well for this sort of recipe. So I've added all those in. If you've got a food mixer at home, you can also use a food mixer to do this. I don't have a food mixer, I've just got a good old wooden spoon. So once that's all mixed, I'm going to add my first egg in. So remember, cracking your egg, if you don't feel comfortable cracking it in straight into the bowl, then crack it into a separate bowl. And then what we're going to do is we're going to crack it straight into the bowl like this. I feel confident enough to do that. And then I'm going to check there's no shell, which there isn't. I'm going to mix that in, okay? So we're going to mix that in, until it completely disappears. Okay? So as you whip it round, you'll see it starting to disappear. So again, trying to get as much air in here as possible. Okay? And you'll see that your mixture is starting to thicken and get big, and then get a lot bigger. So now my egg's completely disappeared. I'm going to put my second egg in. Crack on the worktop or on the side of the bowl, depending. Okay. Again, just getting rid of that egg. Whipping it, you'll have, if you've got big muscles, then you'll be really good at this. Or if you haven't got big muscles, your muscles will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you'll find, if you've got a food mixer, this will be really, really easy because you'll just put it in. Okay? Now this is a very traditional method. If you don't feel like you've got enough time to do all this, you can do an all-in-one method where you can just literally weigh out all your ingredients, pop it straight into the bowl and mix it all in one. Okay? I'm going to shut my bin. So, mixing in again. There we go. So as you can see, my mixture's sort of doubled in size, okay, and that's absolutely fine. It may look like it might be a little bit wet. You might find that it is a little bit wet and it's sort of curdled a bit. That's absolutely fine. Try and whip it as much as you can into the bowl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off with my scraper all of my mixture off of my wooden spoon. I've actually got the wrong wooden spoon. I didn't realise. I'm going to pop that in here. And then I'm going to get all my mixture in from the sides like this. Okay. Lovely. And then what I'm going to do, so my scales are pretty straightforward. They're just digital scales. I'm going to pop my bowl onto here and I'm going to pop my sieve over the top. Like so. Like that. And I'm going to turn my scales on and it should read 0. Awesome, it does read 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh out 6 ounces of flour. Now, with my mixture, I'm going to add banana and cocoa because we're having chocolate and banana. So what I'm going to do is, because my mixture is going to be a little bit wetter than what it normally would be as a sponge, if you're just doing a plain vanilla sponge and you just whack in 6 ounces, okay? But I'm not. Just hold on to your sieve. So up all the way to 6. Now I'm going to put 6.2 in, so 6 ounces. There we go, 6.2. Then I'm going to add my cocoa. That needs to go through the sieve as well. So I'm going to add 1 of those, about 1.5 of those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push through. I'm going to take that off first. Get rid of my scales. Oof, what a horrible noise. And then what I'm going to do is use my spoon and I'm just going to push it through my sieve. Okay, so cocoa needs to go through a sieve because it's quite lumpy and it can actually add lumps to your cake. And no one wants like uncooked cocoa powder in their cake. It wouldn't be very nice. And as you can see, like you can see some bits at the bottom there. So we're just going to push those through like so. So that's completely clean now. I'm just going to get rid of those. And then I'm going to use my spatula. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around in a figure of 8 really slowly. I'm going to fold my flour in. So we've gone from going really, really quickly to really, really slowly. Okay, so what we're trying to do is keep the air in there. So we're going to half sort of mix the flour in, like so. And it's becoming quite a heavy mixture now, like it's getting harder and harder to mix in, and that's absolutely fine. Just keep working it through. Now I'm going to add in banana. We like banana in this house, and I had a banana left over. I've only got 1 banana that's really ripe and really quite dark. So I'm just going to add that in now, so it's halfway through mixing. I'll show you that mixture in a second. going to add that in. And you can sort of see that my flour's sort of half mixed in, now my banana's in. So what I'm going to do now is just mix it in really nice and slowly, folding it over, so the mixture needs to go folded over like this. We don't want any fast movement now. Mixing that in nice and slowly. Now I've put probably a heaped dessert spoon full of cocoa powder. Now for my mixture, that to me doesn't seem enough, so I'm going to add some more because I want it to be really, really quite dark. Okay, depending on your flavour. So I'm putting another dessert spoon in there. There we go, look, and you can see. There we go. So I'm going to add that in and then mix that in. You don't have to add chocolate if you don't like chocolate. You can add lemon. So if you're going to add a lemon, do a whole lemon. The same with an orange. You probably want just half an orange. And then other flavours, so you want like a capful of vanilla essence if you want to add that. And then what else could we add? Think of stuff that you could add. Blueberries and some nice fresh blueberries to add in there. If you've got frozen ones, just make sure that they're defrosted before you put them in. What else? Sultanas. You can put sultanas in there, quite nice in a bun, with maybe a little bit of vanilla as well. So as you can see, the mixtures really, really come together. Now, I'm just going to make sure all the sides are in like I did before. There we go. Like that. And then make sure it's nicely mixed in. Now I've still got a couple of bits at the bottom that need to, my arm is really starting to hurt now. There we go. Obviously I've been off for too long and not cooked enough while I've been off. So there we go. So there's my mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my cake tin round. So the other day when we did the bun tin, we just put like a dessert spoonful in and we pushed it off with our finger. That's the easiest way to do it. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you can do it the other way, which is to get 2 spoons, have 1 spoon and then pop it in. Try not to get any cake mixture onto the tray where you're doing it. Okay, so we're having a chocolate and banana loaf today. Now this bowl of mine is really, really heavy, and hopefully your bowl isn't as heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, bring my tin nice and closely in. Try and do this as independently as possible. If you do need help, get help from your grown-up who is helping you. Okay, and as you can see, my mixture's quite stiff now. And the reason that it is like this is because obviously I've added that extra flour in, which is what I wanted. Okay, oh, that's too heavy for me to hold. So I'm going to try and get as much mixture in as possible via my spatula. That's not too bad. So if you've got bun tins, you don't need to press the mixture down if you've got bun tins, because in the bun tins it will even out quite nicely. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of mixture in there. Again, trying to get as much mixture as possible. Now with a baking tray, we're going to try and push it down all the way and make it even as possible. Now, when your mixture cooks, you'll probably think, oh, I'm going to get it right to the edge. Now, the best way to do this, I find, is with a dinner knife. So what I'm going to do is push it in right to the edges, like so. And then what you're going to do is almost like make a cave in the middle, because what will happen is that it will just even out. So as you can see in my mixture there, okay. Now I'm going to bake this in the oven for about 20 minutes. If you're doing bun tins, you need to do it for about 12 to 15 minutes depending on your oven. I've preheated my oven up to 180, and so I'm just going to pop it in. Okay, so enjoy making that, guys. Have a play about with your flavours, see what you like to do with your flavours, and just enjoy baking a little bit. Cool. Good job.